morning. Will you please stand and join me in the first song, I Feel the Spirit. I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me. That's all there is to it. I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the joy. I feel the joy moving in me. 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 I feel the peace. I feel the peace moving in me. 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 I feel the Spirit. I feel the Spirit moving in me. 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 I feel the vision. I feel the vision moving in me. 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 I feel the presence. I feel the presence moving in me. 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 I feel the Spirit 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 moving in me.
Thank you so much. We'll learn that one and we'll bellow it out fairly soon. So let us pray. So let's stand and join together in this prayer. May I be filled, may I be peaceful, may I be filled with loving kindness, may I be well and strong, may I be happy. And let us take a moment to take in those blessings, those intentions. And then let us extend those blessings and those intentions to everyone in the room, everyone joining us online, and to all people with whom we are brothers and sisters. May you be peaceful. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well and strong. And may you be happy. And so it is.
Welcome, everybody. Hello. Hello. That's what I want to see. I want to hear. Welcome to everybody here in the room in this beautiful sanctuary in Vacaville. Beautiful, not quite sunny, but nice Vacaville day here. And welcome to everybody online too. And come on down to join this beautiful group whenever you can. So it's just wonderful to be here. It's wonderful for me to be in this role because there's love in this room and it is so circulatory. It goes out, it comes back, it goes all around, and it is wonderful. So one of the ways we start, or the way we start each and every Sunday really, is lighting our Christ candle and honoring the Christ within each of us. And Mina is going to come and help us today because look at, here she comes. Because that example of Christ's light shines so much in Mina and so many children, all of our children. Okay. Mina has given me an instruction that we need a little bit of extra care back here with that wick on that. Okay, thank you. And I take all suggestions lovingly, and thank you for that. You do such a great job with that, Mina. And come on up here. We are not only going to bless Mina, but all of our kids with our blessings. So if the rest, I think Bree's out there, if she could come forward, and if there's any other children. I think that's the two today. Come on up, Bree. And we are going to honor Bree and Mina by having our blessing. And this blessing is so special. So join me right now together. I am a beautiful child of God. In every way, you are loved unconditionally, just the way I am. Okay, I'm going to pause, and we're going to focus on you because this is for them at the moment, and I want to make sure that it is honored and good. So let's take these words and honor these two beautiful children right here, right now. You are beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. You are loved unconditionally, just the way you are. There we are. That felt better, and now it's time, if it's true for them, of course it's true for us, and so we'll repeat this for ourselves right here, right now, okay? So, I am a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. I am loved unconditionally, just the way I am. And so now, Melissa will play our beautiful little song as these two wonderful guys. Am I making a mistake? Okay. There we go. We can sing this right here, and then they can leave as we go.
Child of God, a wondrous spirit of love and peace. My light will shine forever. I'm a beautiful child of God. You're a beautiful child of God. A wondrous spirit of love and peace. Your light will shine forever. You're a beautiful child of God. We are beautiful children of God. We are wondrous spirits of love and peace. Our light will shine forever. We are beautiful children of God.
Thank you, Melissa, for that beautiful song. Thank you all for the love and the presence and the consciousness to hold this beautiful, to hold the light of the Christ within us and in our beautiful children and in this whole community. So welcome again, and thank you, Melissa Olson. She is with us today with our music once more. We appreciate her so, so much. Thank you for being here. Reverend Dalia Adams is with us today, second day back from a sabbatical, looking wonderful, beautiful, and powerful. I'm loving that. We've got Thomas back on the soundboard. Thank you, Thomas, for being here. That allows me to be here. So really appreciate that. And Gloria on the video. Thank you so much. So it's time now, like we do every Sunday, to also honor our prayer chaplains. Our prayer chaplains are here to pray with you, of course. And it is today, the person with the stole on today is Dan Perkins. He's one of our newer prayer chaplains, and he's wonderful. If you have a chance to pray with Dan, please do that. He'll be standing up in front after the service if you would like to meet with him. So I am going to make an announcement right now, and this announcement is for a potluck, a vegan and vegetarian-only potluck honoring and celebrating Earth Day, and that's going to happen on April 28th. So we have an opportunity to let it be known now, and there'll be posters and flyers, and we'll get the word out, but we're having a celebratory, a potluck, vegan and vegetarian only, to honor Earth Day, and we're having it in the social hall on the 28th. That would be after the service. So thank you for that. And there we go. Now our next announcement is, can you believe it? We've been talking about this for a while. Daniel Nahmod's going to be here next Sunday. This is coming up, so tell your friends, tell everybody. Everyone watching online, if you maybe have stayed home because it's just easier or whatever, come and listen to Daniel. He's going to be our guest speaker, and he's going to follow with a workshop at 11:30 a.m., which is also wonderful. So the cost is $30, but no one will be turned away. So please, April 21st, we will be hosting Daniel Nahmod. It's going to be wonderful. Our spring tea is, guess what? Sold out. Yay, we've sold, every ticket is sold. So it says up there 8 tickets left, but that happened in between the slide and today. So 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. on April 27th. It's on a Saturday, and it's a wonderful event. Everybody loves the tea. And so I just want to make sure that everybody knows that it is sold out now. We are having our annual Lagoon Valley Litter and Cleanup, our barbecue and potluck also along with it on, May 4th. It starts at 8:30 and it goes to 1 p.m. So what we do is we meet there at 8:30. Bob Panzer and I and others, and I want to especially mention Greg Kennedy, who brings maps, who surveys the place beforehand to make sure that there's places that we wander in the right places to pick up where it's needed. So rather than searching it on the day that we do it, so it makes it so much easier and so much more effective. So a shout out to Greg Kennedy, Bob Panzer, and everyone. Now this is also open for the community too. Bob has been advertising this in various ways, so the public comes. Usually there's maybe a 1 or 2, but maybe this year, maybe more, people from the community to help us do the cleanup. So again, May 4th, 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it is a picnic. So we will be providing the food there. It's going to be wonderful. I'm going to cook. There are some fans about me cooking and some not, so that's okay. So coming soon, though, here's one. The 2024 Women's Retreat. It's going to be called Here in Heaven. June 28th through June 30th, facilitated by Reverend Dalia, and it's at Via Maria del Mar in Santa Cruz, California. And I hear a lot of buzz from year to year about our women's retreat, and I always hear that it's meaningful, wonderful, and something that you don't want to miss. So that's coming soon. I believe that's it for our announcements today, and just appreciate you all so much. Standing up here before you, it gives me a chance to really put into practice the things I'm learning here at Unity and just the heartful presence that this beautiful place is, the energy that we all generate. And so this statement is core to the way life is and the way my consciousness turns when I just give a thought about this beautiful sanctuary. So it's our statement of faith. We say it every Sunday. So let's do that with our heartfelt consciousness right now. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good.
Surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. And my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free as I continue walking in this mystery. My greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am grateful every moment, every day. Walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. Surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am kinder every moment, every day. Every moment, every day, I will surrender every moment, every day.
So beautiful. So, so beautiful. I love those words. I surrender to my greatest and highest good. And what that leads me to is being more loving each and every day. I'm going to hold that one all week. Thank you. So this year in 2024, I was strongly guided to focus on heaven, right? Growing up, I always wanted to go to heaven. I watched what I said and did to make sure I didn't get blocked from going to heaven. I'd go to confession to make sure the doors kept open, and then grew up to have a different understanding of what this heaven is. Again, from the time I grew up and well into my adulthood, and I still hold this as personally meaningful. There was a story, or there is a story in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, that talked about Adam and Eve being in the Garden of Eden. And in my mind, that equates to being in heaven. They were in heaven, they were happy. All creatures were one. There was a sense of oneness with God. It was a place of amazing, amazing joy. And there was guidance from that divine presence that we call God. And that guidance included just don't eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right? And the emphasis when I was taught this was whether or not you're obedient. But as I thought about it more later in my life, I'm there, no, that's not the point of the story as much as the fact of what it is that they ate. They ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So once we put ourselves in a position of judging good and evil, therein is born our self-critic that tears us apart and makes us miserable. There is born the critic of others that creates separation between us. I no longer look at that person that I'm judging and see that I am one with that person and we are one in God. I see that person as other and not quite good enough. Have you ever done that? Probably not. I'm probably the only one in. Think about how that feels in that moment when that judgment is bubbling up. And as much as you'd like to put it down, it's there. And the worst of it is, you know you're right. You know there's a real problem with that person, right? Are you in heaven in that moment? Are you in that consciousness? I am one with God. I am one with all creation. So judgment is one of those blocks that Melissa sang about that stands in my way, and probably to a greater extent than we realize, than we acknowledge. So today I want to talk about compassion as a pathway to heaven. When I am in judgment of you, I am not holding you in compassion. I look at you struggling with something and I think, I would never do that. I would do it this way or that way or the other way. I make that gap between us bigger and bigger, and I feel more alone and lone, but I feel right. Have you ever heard that? Would you rather be right or happy? Would you rather be in judgment? Or would you choose compassion and be in the consciousness of heaven? And this is just going back last week. We pointed out that the kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of God by its many names, is a level of consciousness. This is what unity teaches. And that particular quote is taken from a Catholic movement. James Marion is part of a Catholic movement that was started after Pope Francis wrote a book that was very, very well received. And we said last week also that the kingdom of heaven is a consciousness of our oneness with God, our oneness with each other, and our oneness with all creation. Jesus, in his teachings, taught us those truths about the kingdom, but Jesus also taught love. One of his key teachings was the centerpiece that love is and should be in our lives. In the Gospel of John, chapter 13, 34 to 35, he said, "A new commandment I give you, that you love one another." Again, all of this, compassion is an expression of love. It's a very powerful expression of love. And it's a profound expression of honor and respect. And I put in the word powerful expression of love because in our culture, in the Western culture, in American culture, there is a connotation in some people's mind about compassion that is backwards and upside down. There is a connotation in some people's minds that when we are compassionate, we are being weak. When I was immersed in psychology as a career and identifying as a psychologist, there was research showing the positive effects of compassion. It improves our relationships. It improves our relationship with ourselves and with others. Compassion improves our sense of well-being. It improves our confidence. It improves our sense of self-worth. It has benefits that are across the board, but psychologists typically had trouble recruiting subjects, research subjects, for studies on compassion. People just wouldn't sign up. Even the studies that paid people to come and participate, the compassion studies didn't get many volunteers, especially men. Men just basically didn't sign up, period. I'm just reporting facts, not making judgments. And what they did is they went and interviewed people who typically volunteered and asked them, why are you not signing up for the study on compassion? And the reason that was given is compassion is about being weak. So they started renaming the studies, leaving out the word compassion, and people signed up. So our step one is to acknowledge that, one, it's an expression of love. It's based in love, and I think everyone's okay with love. Anybody have a problem with love? Okay. And that it's a powerful expression of love. And then the other piece of it is it's based in honor and respect. I had a very small incident. It was an experience in compassion, and it's left joy in my heart to this day, even though it's happened weeks and weeks and weeks ago. And again, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big thing, but I still want to share this story. I was driving, and I had been running errands, and I was near one of these shopping areas, not a mall, but you know, where the parking lots and the strip malls, and I was starving. So I pulled in, and I went to a shop where I bought a sandwich, but they had a deal going on that day that if I got that sandwich, I could get a second one just like it for $1. And the shopper in me, the person who looks for good deals, couldn't resist. I mean, a sandwich for $1, right? And I thought in my mind, well, I'll be hungry later. I can, So I bought 2 sandwiches. And I'm pulling out of the parking area, and it was one lane going out, one lane coming in. And on my right side, on the passenger side, there was a man sitting on the curb, and he was facing a little bit the other way. He had a sign, so I didn't get to read it. But I assumed it was one of those signs that was asking for help or whatever. And on impulse, I rolled down my window, and our eyes had met. And it was that generated this impulse. I rolled down the window. I said, "Hey, would you like a sandwich?" And he lit up and said, "Yeah." So I'm rummaging in my bag to pull out the sandwich to give to him. Meanwhile, behind me, 3 or 4 cars are laying on their horns. And I start dropping things, and I'm fumbling, and I must have looked distressed. And he said, "Hey," just the way I said to him. And I looked at him. He goes, "Don't worry about it. It's not about you, it's them." And I could breathe again. So I extended compassion to him. He extended compassion to me. And I love that moment because it really underlined the honor and the respect. I wasn't giving him a sandwich because somehow I was better than him. And he wasn't telling me that I'm okay, that it's not me, because he thought he was better than me. We were just 2 people holding each other in honor and respect. And compassion involves recognizing that difficult moment someone else might be having, and that impulse to respond out of love. So he recognized my discomfort. He didn't think, "Oh, gee, look at her. She's reacting to that, and she should just know better," right? And I didn't respond to him, "Oh, look, he must have done something wrong in his life to land where he is," right? That's judgment. That's the stuff that kicked Adam and Eve out of heaven. Compassion is the opposite. Jessica Spear is an author. She writes for young teenagers. I like this quote that she had. She said, "Compassion is making a choice to honor the humanity of another, both the dignity, the goodness, and the difficulty sometimes of being human." In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus was speaking with his disciples. It's a beautiful section of the gospel. He said, "Come, you that are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom." In other words, claim that consciousness of heaven. "For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink." And it went on, And then the disciples looked at Jesus and said, "We don't remember feeding you or giving you something to drink." And Jesus said, "Truly, I tell you, just as you did to one of the least of these, you did to me." So Jesus was teaching compassion. These least of these, he says, see them as the Christ. When you serve them, see me and know that they are equal to me in stature and in honor and in dignity. And give out of the love of your heart and claim the kingdom for yourself. Because this type of love, this type of honoring brings you into that kingdom, the consciousness of oneness. When you think of Mother Teresa, she didn't serve those who were lepers or sick or poor in other ways by, oh, you poor things. Oh, you poor, poor things. Let me give you something to make your lot better. I don't know if you've ever been in dire straits in any way, whether you were lonely or sad or maybe needing something physical. And if someone came up to you and offered you a listening ear or a sandwich with this, oh, you poor thing attitude, wouldn't you want to just punch them in the face? Okay. So Mother Teresa said, every time I look at one of these lepers, I see the Christ. And that is the attitude from which we give. That is the attitude from which we show our compassion. I recently saw a movie, Cabrini, Mother Cabrini, who did much of her work in the United States, did it in the same way. The way it was enacted, it showed her serving people in very dire straits, but always with the utmost respect and honor. Compassion. Feel how powerful it is? Okay. So if you're ever asked to participate in a research study on compassion, you say yes. So compassion is responding to the pain or difficulties of another or ourselves with respect, understanding, and love, along with a desire to take action. And I'm looking at, and I know so many of you live this compassion in so many ways. You know, I'm preaching to the choir literally here. My job's an easy one today. Every one of you, just about, I can tell a story of amazing compassion. So another definition of compassion is it is love in attitude and love in action. It's both. There is a author, he's a Buddhist writer, but he writes of spiritual principles that are universal. His name is Frank Ostaseski. He wrote a book called The Five Invitations. And the book is filled with stories. And there is a story in there about a woman named Jillian. And I want to share it with you. Because again, it's a story of compassion, of that love in action, and love in attitude and love in action. And Jillian also was an author and a teacher. And there came a time in her life where her mother started needing more and more help and assistance. So she would spend more time with her mother. And then what started happening is her mother began losing her memory. And her mother's memory became shaky enough that she could no longer live alone. And Jillian brought her mother into her own house to live. And she hired a caretaker and an attendant that would be there with her during the times that Jillian needed to be away for work. And so they started a routine, and her mother was settling in Jillian's home. And the caretaker was helping out. And one day Jillian comes, you know, she's an author, so books are a big part of her life. And she had a huge bookshelf in her living room. And she comes home, and all of her books are all over the floor and furniture, and some of them very clearly thrown down onto the floor. Even her most sacred Buddhist texts, so it would be for us like her Bibles, you know, thrown down on the ground. And she was furious. This rage came up in her, because it does, even in saints, you know, that rage comes up sometimes. And she looked at the attendant, she goes, how could you let this happen? How? How did this happen on your watch? And the attendant was quiet for a little bit. And she says, today I pack these books up into boxes. Tomorrow I will unpack them from the boxes and put them back on the bookshelf. And maybe next week I will put them back into boxes again. And then the next day put them back in the bookshelf. She goes, but for someone who has lost so much, for someone who has lost so much of her sense of control, if this one action gives her a little bit of control, I'm willing to do it over and over and over again. So she could look at Jillian's mother and have compassion for that deep grief and sense of loss and confusion that comes when we lose our ability to do some things. And she said, if I have to do this task of packing and unpacking books to give your mother that little bit of control, hey, I'm okay. Can you hear the honoring and the respect and the love and the power in that? Okay. Jack Kornfield, one of my favorite teachers, loving kindness and compassion is who we are in the deepest way. It is our true nature. That is why it leads us into that consciousness of joy, of peace, of knowing who we are, that consciousness of oneness with God. So compassion is strength and power. It is not weakness, absolutely not weakness. So this is one of my favorite stories about the strength of compassion. You may know it well. It was first published in the Reader's Digest in the 1970s. It's been around a while. Once it got published on the Reader's Digest, it spread everywhere. It's known around the world. And in these days, it's all over the internet, the social media. It seems to have a strength and a life that doesn't fade. So I will do my best to tell this story. If you want to hear a really beautiful version, Ram Dass reads the story in Terry Dobson's words. So if you Google Ram Dass, Terry Dobson, and compassion on a train, you will get the story. Okay. So Terry Dobson was a man from the West, and he was spending time in Japan studying martial arts, specifically studying Aikido. And he had been in Japan at that point about 3 years, studying Aikido 8 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week. His whole life was immersed in Aikido, and as he told the story, it was like, and he was chomping at the bit to use his skills. He was chomping at the bit to be Superman and come in and save some poor innocent person from the forces of evil, right? His teacher emphasized that Aikido is not the art of battle. It is the art of reconciliation. And that the skills were never to be used to gain dominion over someone else. The only situation is when it is in the defense of someone who needs that kind of defense. And never, never should the Aikido student or master initiate a battle. So Terry Dobson is thinking about all of this in general in his life. He boards a train, and the train car he's in is not very full. He's there. There's a handful of shoppers there, some parents with their children, and the train stops, and into the car steps this very large, loud, unkempt, dirty, staggering, clearly drunk man who's cursing and yelling as he gets in. He gets into the car and he takes his hand and whacks the mother of a baby, and mother and baby go flying out of their seats. They land in the laps of an elderly couple, and the mother, baby, and the couple are all frightened, and they're going to the back of the train car, and this man goes to kick the woman, the elderly woman, but he misses and he almost falls and he rights himself, and Terry Dobson's on his feet. This is his moment, right? This is that moment when he could be a superhero with his Aikido skills. But he knows he has to wait for this big, angry, threatening man to make the first move. So he stands up and he glares at this man. And he gets his attention, and the drunk, Terry Dobson calls him laborer, the drunk, staggering laborer looks back at him. And just to egg it all on, Terry Dobson blows him a kiss, right? And this really gets the guy. Well, he's not making the first move, right? Right? Anyway, just as a confrontation was about to start, there's this, hey. And they both looked around, and this small, slender, elderly man in a white kimono is sitting in the chair, and he says, hey. He says, hey again, in the way you would say hey when you discovered something wonderful, like maybe you were looking for a lost earring, and there it was. You'd say, hey. You know? And so the big man, the drunk laborer, looked over at the small elderly man, and he took his attention away from Terry Dobson. And the older man says, come sit with me, come talk to me. And the laborer walks up to him and he glares. He goes, why should I talk to you? And the elderly man says, what you been drinking? The laborer says, sake, but it's none of your business. And the small elderly man says, oh, how wonderful. You know, I love sake too. In fact, my wife, she's 76 years old now. She just had her birthday, you know. She and I, every evening, we go out to our garden and we drink sake together, and we sit under our persimmon tree. And it's such a wonderful tree. We've been worrying about the tree ever since the freezes that we had last winter. But amazingly, it seems to be doing okay. And it is really amazing considering how poor the soil is that it's planted in. But we sit there and we drink our sake and we look at the persimmons, and you can see the laborers, the drunk man's face softening as he's trying to follow this whole story, you know. And there's a moment of silence, and he looks confused and he says, I like persimmons too. And the elderly man says, oh, yes, we do too, and you must have a wonderful wife also. And the drunken laborer says, no, my wife died. I don't have a wife. I don't have a job. I don't have no home. And he starts crying. And at this point, Terry Dobson's exit, the train stops, and it says, time to exit. And as he's walking out the door, he looks back, and this big drunken laborer is sprawled along a longer bench where the older man is sitting, and his head is in the elderly man's lap, and the man is stroking his dirty, matted hair as he says, oh, that sounds so painful. Tell me more about it. So Terry Dobson steps off the train and he says, oh, this is what Aikido looks like. It is the art of reconciliation. It is the art of compassion. It is what brings us together in our oneness. It's not a matter of beating each other up, right? The strength of compassion, the power of compassion. We don't have time to get into self-compassion, but we will, because of all the forms of compassion. This is the toughest. This is graduate school level compassion, right? It is extending to ourselves the respect, understanding, kindness, and deep love when we are in difficult circumstances. Anybody on board for that one? Yeah. So the Dalai Lama says, if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. And then my 2 cents, if you want to live in the consciousness of the kingdom of heaven, practice compassion, or put much more simply, if you want to go to heaven, practice compassion. And so it is.
In the stillness of the silence, I am one with perfect life. I am healed, I live in freedom. Joy now fills me, thrills me, mind and heart. In the stillness of the silence, I am one with light and love. I am wise, my thoughts are loving. Peace now fills me, thrills me, mind and heart. In the stillness of the silence, I am one with God the good. I am trusting as I listen. Faith now fills me, thrills me, mind and heart.
And so we go deeper, deeper into our time of meditation. I invite you to sit comfortably. Allow your breath to come easily and effortlessly. And for a little while, simply rest your attention on the movement of your breath. Gently notice how your breath feels when you breathe in and when you breathe out. You might even notice how each breath takes you a little bit deeper. deeper into your heart space. That sacred space within you where you know, where you feel, where you experience the presence that is God. That sacred space within you where you feel the love of God moving through you. And in this sacred time, this sacred space, allow that love that is God to move through you and offer it to yourself, to someone else, a dear friend, a dear enemy. An animal friend. Offer it to someone or something that in this moment is asking for compassion. Simply ask, who is it? What is it that is wanting my compassion? And then offer that person, that thing, your honor, your respect, your understanding, and the love that is God that moves through you right now. In the silence, simply hold that experience of offering your love. And to whatever extent you were able to offer your love, know simply that the intention to do so, whether or not it was easy or difficult, simply the intention to do so is on the pathway to heaven. So through your love, through your compassion, claim now the kingdom of heaven is yours. I give my love. I give my compassion. Holding those affirmations in your heart, allow yourself to gently and easily bring your attention back to this room, back to this time and place. Take a nice deep breath, open your eyes. I invite you to look around at the amazing people that are in this space, in this sanctuary. See the beautiful light that shines on each and every face. See the love of God shining through them. And know that that same love, that same light shines through you. And then join me in saying thank you. Together, thank you, God. Amen.
In the stillness of the silence, I am one with God the good. I am trusting as I listen. Faith now fills me, thrills me, mind and heart.
Thank you, Melissa. So beautiful, so beautiful. And can you feel the compassion? It's palpable. All of us have this compassionate consciousness at the moment, bringing it to forehand. It's so powerful. So it's time now to talk about our giving and receiving. It's a principle that it's just at the core of unity. It's the cause and effect. It's giving love, receiving love. And part of that is giving of our tithes and offerings, our way to physically support this beautiful sanctuary, the people that are here, the wonderful message it brings. It's unity worldwide. It is a powerful way to show your love. There's different methods, of course. You can write a check. You can text to give, which is an interesting way. Some folks do that. That's the number up there to call. Our website has a donate button on it. There are lots of ways you can mail a check, and you can put money right in the baskets that are going to come today. So let's just take this right now, this blessing of the tithes and offerings that we say every week, and take this into our hearts and really internalize this together. God's love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. I am grateful.
I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. You can join in if you want. I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. Anything I want, then it is mine. Perfect health, it is mine. Love, 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 it is mine.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much. I love Karen Drucker's music, don't you guys? Melissa, I want to honor you one more time for the beautiful music and presence you bring. Thank you so much. So now we can say our affirmation of divine substance, which I love. I actually use this affirmation a lot in my life. So we repeat this together, please? The inexhaustible resource of spirit is equal to every demand. There is no reality in lack. Abundance is here and now manifest. And now it is time for our peace song. We can gather in a circle today. Well, make it a semicircle, make it a circle, make it an amoeba, whatever it is, but feel free to stand with each other. If you'd like to hold hands, you can. If you don't need to, if you don't want to. Thank you.
Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. We are one holy family. We celebrate our oneness and honor our diversity. And then join me in our closing affirmation. Today, I give my deepest respect and love. One more time. Today, I give my deepest respect and love. And so it is. Now take time to honor and love each other, dance, genuflect, hug, whatever you are moved to do.